Masters Barry,
use up all your memory.
to Marion Christopher Barry,
They said it like a computer.
to all of the brothers and sisters, Reverend Willie Wilson, and all those who made these 4 days possible. From the depth of my heart, I thank you for putting together a program that rightly honors Marion Barry and his legacy. A life ends, the legacy begins. What a joy to hear his son speak the way his son spoke. Indeed, the legacy has begun. I'm honored beyond words to be here today to celebrate the life of our brother, our champion, our mayor, but not just a local figure, but a man whose work was both national and international. I was introduced to Mayor Barry by my esteemed brother, the Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson, and I found in Mayor Barry a brother, a companion in struggle, a man who loved God and loved the people of God and loved humanity as a whole. And sometimes, my dear Christopher, Dad wasn't always there. Because some of us that come into this life are born for a higher purpose than just to work for our families and our vanities, but to work for a people and to work for humanity. Such a man was Marion Barry. I was here in Washington when my brother went through his great trial, and a reporter from one of the Washington newspapers came to me with a question. But before she asked her question, she was building me up as some moral giant, somebody who was married and had a good life and didn't use drugs. And what do you think, she said, of a man who broke his marital vows and used drugs and did? I said, who are you talking about? John Fitzgerald Kennedy? Now,
Too sharp for them, too sharp.
that ended the press conference. It is not right or moral to speak of the dead in an unkind way. I only raised that for those who like to talk about our deficiencies while they hide the wickedness of their own leaders that have been over us and over the world.
Oh, my, let me stand up.
Nobody passes this life without committing sin. And when I said nobody, I mean nobody. The popes, the cardinals, the bishops, the imams, the mullahs, the presidents, the potentates, nobody comes this way without committing sin. I am a sinner. And if I did not commit sin, I would not need the mercy, the beneficence, the forgiveness of God. So the Holy Quran says, if Allah were to punish man for his sins, not one soul
To be left
would
standing.
be left alive on the earth. So will the holy ones please stand up?
Sit down. Sit down. Oh, sit down.
This is no time for grief and sadness. This is a time for joy and gladness and thanksgiving for the life that God sent our way that made life better for so many people in this city, in Memphis, in the South, in the North. The Million Man March could never have happened in any other city at any other time but Washington, D.C. in the time of Mayor Marion Barry, his wife, and all of this team that came together to put on this program with Reverend Willie Wilson and Dr. Dorothy Hayden, so many. We called for 1 million men, and 2 million, nearly 2 million, showed up in this city. Mayor Barry was a principal helper in that effort. 25,000 orphans found a home after that march. 1.3 million new voters came on the voter roll after that march. Derelict fathers and husbands went back to their wives and families and tried to make a new start. But in this world, when you do good for the masses, you are not loved by those who suck the blood of the masses to maintain their wealth, influence, and power. I'm going to close now. In this audience are the elders of the children of Israel. I love your singing, your spirit. You prove that you are the people of God, worthy for us to live for and worthy for us to give our lives for. The young people are rising all over America because somebody sowed some seeds out there that are germinating. The Bible says, cast your bread upon the waters, and after many days, you'll see it coming back to you. Thank you, Reverend Jackson. Thank you, Dr. King. Thank you, Malcolm X. Thank you, Elijah Muhammad. Thank you for all of those who went before us, because we could not be where we are if it were not for those who went before us. It is on the shoulders of yesterday that Barack has a today. So to the elders, don't get tired. Don't get weary. Don't think about retiring. A lion, as long as it has teeth, does not retire. A lion will continue to hunt until death overtakes it. There's a lion asleep in Judah who will wake him. Pussycats cannot arise lions. It takes lions who roar to awaken a lion that has been trained to think he's a pussycat. Now, Martin King, on the last night of his life, and I have to say this as a follower of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I grew to love Dr. King more in death than I ever appreciated him in life. And it is a grave injustice to narrow that man's life down to some cheap words. I have a dream. They did not kill our brother because he had a dream. They killed him because he was on an evolutionary path of growth and development. And if you hear the final words that he spoke, you would know why they assassinated him. But he said, I'm not fearing any man.
All right now.
That's our problem. We're fearing men. And that's what chokes us when we meet the adversary we talk with garbled speech
Yeah.
because we want to win friends rather than tell the truth that justice may come. I'm not fearing any man. I have been to the
Mountaintop.
Yes, sir.
I have looked over
He saw it.
and I have seen
Woo.
not the promised sky, not a false promise of nearness to our oppressor and a little money. He said, I have seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, he said. But we as a people will get to the promised land. Now, the elders of Israel didn't get to the promised land because they were afraid of some giants. Mayor Barry challenged forces. He was not a coward. And cowards should not speak his name. So when the elders wouldn't go in because some giants were there, God said, I'll let them die in the wilderness, and I will take their children, and they will inhabit the promised land. Our children are rising today, and they don't see giants. I wonder why. There's a man in the scripture, as I close, named Jesus. And some man came to Jesus, and Jesus asked him, how do you see men? He said, I see them as trees. Jesus knew the man wasn't seeing right. So he put some spittle on his eyes and then asked the man, how do you see men now? And the man said, I see them
As they are.
as
And.
they are.
And.
There are no giants here that cannot be conquered in the name of God. There's no mountain too high that we cannot climb in the name of God. If that legacy of that great man is to continue, and it will, then let's rise up from this hallowed ground and go back to work on the struggle for freedom, justice, and equality. Thank you for these few moments. Can somebody shout? Let me take a moment and acknowledge the great service that was rendered on last evening by Bishop Staples and the good people of Temple of Praise. Would you give Bishop Staples? Great service on last evening. Thank the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan for those encouraging and inspiring words. We're now going to hear from our dear beloved sister who represents us in the Congress. She worked with Marion Barry, the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. She has been a soldier for justice and righteousness in the Congress and in our nation, has served the district for any number of years,
has done such a great job. It's automatic when it comes time for her to take her place again on the Congress as a seat. Please receive and welcome Congresswoman Eleanor Holmes Norton as she comes. Come on, D.C.
Thank you, Reverend Wilson. Members of Congress, all of you who have served have had the privilege of serving as mayors of the District of Columbia, as members of